From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Keith Allen and proudly welcoming you to this Thursday's edition of For the People. It's March the 16th, 2017, and we have a great show lined up for you, and you can expect that. This is a common occurrence, and but today, seriously speaking, we have the doctor in the house today, Dr. Pat Choate. He's an economist and best-selling author, and he'll be joining us a little bit later in the broadcast to see what's on his mind. But on the mind of a lot of Americans is what Donald Trump has been talking about, and so many things to keep up with, whether it's health care, trying to repeal and replace that, taxes, and then some of the accusations that were made about wiretapping. And Tucker Carlson last night had an exclusive interview with Donald Trump, and I thought it was very well done. But a lot of people wanted to find out really how he came to the thinking of that he may have been wiretapped at the Trump Tower or anywhere else. But anyways, here's Trump regarding this.
I've been reading about things. I read in, I think it was January 20th, a New York Times article where they were talking about wiretapping. There was an article, I think they used that exact term. I read other things. I watched your friend Bret Baier the day previous where he was talking about certain very complex sets of things happening and wiretapping. I said, wait a minute, there's a lot of wiretapping being talked about. I've been seeing a lot of things. Now, for the most part, I'm not going to discuss it because we have it before the committee and we will be submitting things before the committee very soon. That hasn't been submitted as of yet. But it's potentially a very serious situation.
So 51,000 people retweeted that. So a lot of people thought that was plausible. They believe you. You're the president. Yeah. You're in charge of the agencies. Every intelligence agency reports to you. Why not immediately go to them and gather evidence to support that?
Because I don't want to do anything that's going to violate any strength of an agency. You know, we have enough problems. And by the way, with the CIA, I just want people to know, the CIA was hacked and a lot of things taken. That was during the Obama years. That was not during us. That was during the Obama situation. Mike Pompeo is there now doing a fantastic job. But we will be submitting certain things, and I will be perhaps speaking about this next week. But it's right now before the committee, and I think I want to leave it there. I have a lot of confidence in the committee.
Why not wait to tweet about it until you can prove it? Don't you devalue your words when you can't provide evidence?
Because the New York Times wrote about it. You know, not that I respect the New York Times. I call it the failing New York Times. But they did write on January 20th using the word wiretap. Other people have come out with
right, but you're the president. You have the ability to gather all the evidence you want.
I do, but I think that, frankly, we have a lot right now. And I think if you watch... If you watched the Bret Baier and what he was saying and what he was talking about and how he mentioned the word wiretap, you would feel very confident that you could mention the name. He mentioned it, and other people have mentioned it. But if you take a look at some of the things written about wiretapping and eavesdropping, and don't forget, when I say wiretap, those words were in quotes. That really covers, because wiretapping is pretty old-fashioned stuff, but that really covers surveillance and many other things. And nobody ever talks about the fact that it was in quotes, but that's a very important thing. But wiretap covers a lot of different things. I think you're going to find some very interesting items coming to the forefront over the next 2 weeks.
Well, I thought one of the interesting points that he brought up is that this has been taking place under Obama's watch all along, and there was leaks and there was wiretapping, and as a good CEO wants for his company is to make sure, one, the bleeding stops, but the cheating stops. And when you got people doing crap behind your back, that's disloyalty. And I can't tell you how bad that is. And if you're trying to run a company, it's rather hard to do. So Donald Trump is doing what he's done for years as the CEO of the Trump Organization, is to keep accountability. And there hasn't been that in government, and finally Trump is bringing it to Washington. This is part of the strategy. This is drain the swamp, and we're seeing it in front of our eyes just, 50 days in to the Trump Organization in the White House with his organization, with his cabinet. So here it is. Who leaked it? Who got your tax returns, Mr. President? This is on Tucker Carlson last night, talking about this very, very issue. Good point. This is what he had to say.
Well, certainly not from the White House, that I can tell you. I don't know where they got it. This guy's been following me for 25 years. He's not much. And I don't know, I have no idea where they got it, but it's illegal. And you're not supposed to have it. And it's not supposed to be leaked. And it's certainly not an embarrassing tax return at all, but it's an illegal thing. They've been doing it. They've done it before. And I think it's a disgrace.
It is a disgrace. It's deplorable. And it's illegal, which I'm glad that he brought that up. There's a lot of illegal things that are brought up. I hope they find whoever the culprit is. It needs to happen sooner rather than later. It's just, it's a shame, and it's good thing Donald Trump's a multitasker. Good thing that he can concentrate on multiple things, because there's so many things right now on his plate, things that need to take place, things that are going to help, as a matter of fact. Democrats, Republicans, independents, Tea Parties, no parties, those that consider themselves to be communists, whatever, living in our country, there's things that need to happen and needs to get passed so our country can move forward, but that's not on the minds. Unfortunately, with a lot of folks that are trying to fight the president everywhere. And what about this activist judge, Derek Watson of Hawaii, Obama appointee, who decides he wants to go ahead and block the travel ban? An activist judge, political leanings. This is nothing but a political stunt. The president has full rights to do what he's done. He's acted in the law. It's not a Muslim ban. That's the problem. There's too many people have coined it that way. And thank you, CNN. Thanks, MSNBC. It's a Muslim ban. We want to block all Muslims from our country. It's not what it is. It doesn't say that even in the language. All right, let's talk about fairness, about people paying twice the taxes that investors do. Very good question. We're just going to kind of knock this out. We've cut everything up so you can kind of hear how this interview went down. But is it fair for those earners paying twice the tax that investors do? And here's Donald Trump answering that.
Well, I actually paid less than that, and it is not fair because the income was actually $250 million for the year. And if you notice, there was about $100 million in tax deductions and depreciation and various other charges. So actually the income was at the 250 level, and if you look at it, it's really a lower number, and no, I don't think it's fair. And I've been complaining about it for a long time because I don't care about me anymore. I care about the people out there. And, me, I'm very satisfied. I'm not going to go back into building major buildings someday. I'm not going to be doing what I used to do and used to have a good time doing it. This is what I'm doing now, and I'm saving a lot of money. On the airplanes, I saved $725 million. Probably took me a half an hour if you added up all of the times. And we've saved a tremendous amount of money in government already, and that's just the beginning. I will tell you, the tax, people are paying too high a tax. And one of the reasons I want to get the health care taken care of, and it has to come statutorily and for other reasons, various complex reasons having to do with politics and also Congress, it has to come first. It really has to come first. But one of the reasons I want to get it finished, ideally soon, is because I want to start on the taxes. People are paying too high. Companies are paying too high. It's affecting our jobs. It's affecting a lot of things. Now, with that being said, the country's doing right now really well. The level of optimism is up, highest it's been in 15 years. You see the kind of numbers coming out. It's amazing, the enthusiasm. I saw it this morning on Fox and Friends. I like that group of three people. But they had a man who was saying, Trump is the greatest president ever, and there will never be one like him. Now, the thing is, I've only been there for like 50 days. but he was very enthusiastic. But he was talking, he's a manufacturer, and I've taken off regulations by the thousands, and we're just starting. We're just starting. So there's great optimism about the economy, but we have to get the taxes reduced.
Amen to that. And the group of three that he's talking about with Fox and Friends are Ainsley, Steve, and Brian. Great show. Love the show. I've been watching it for many, many years. Ainsley has fit into that position. I think she's been on the show now for about 2 years now. It goes really, really fast. But it occurred to me when playing some of these cuts today, and we've been playing, lots of different cuts, but it just is such a difference with this president. You got to admit, to be able to hear the things that we've wanted to hear for so long, and it's so easy now to really do a broadcast now, to hear directly from Donald Trump as to the things that he's actually doing, not things that he's hoping to do or he's working on them right now in real time as we speak, trying to get this thing passed. Now, the big one, of course, before taxes is health care. Repeal, replace. Is it going to go through? Is there going to be enough support? We hear from Rand Paul spatting off of the mouth saying this is Obamacare Light 2.0, all this other stuff. But is it the best plan after 7 years that Paul Ryan is pushing? That's a question that Tucker Carlson last night posed the question to Donald Trump, and let's see how he answered that.
I think we're going to have negotiation, but you have to understand, we only have 52. We only have two vote. We have a 2-vote margin. And you're always, to get 52 people is very hard. If we had 60 or 60 votes, we could do something differently. But we're never going to get a Democrat vote. They're never going to vote for us. If I had the greatest bill in the history of the world, they would not vote for us because they hate the Republicans, probably hate me, but they hate the Republicans so badly that they can't see straight. So they're always going to vote against us. It's really a shame because, and that's one of the problems that we have when people come into my office about lowering drug prices, lowering other things. The Democrats are always going to vote against us. It's been simmering for years. The hatred has been there for years, not just with me. I mean, the hatred's been there for years. When I was in Washington years ago, I'd come in and Republicans, they'd fight with the Democrats during the day, and then you'd see them after dinner at a restaurant and the families would be out. I mean, they got along. The hatred is so incredible. And honestly, it's been like that for a long time. It's been like that through the Obama years. It's been like that to a large extent through the Bush years. But if we had 60 votes, perhaps we'd do it a different way. But the only way you're going to get it passed is with Republican votes, because the Democrats, no matter how bad Obamacare is, and it's the worst anybody's ever seen, it's a disaster. Obamacare is a disaster. The premiums are going up at numbers as high as 116%. And by the way, this year will be the worst year of all. And I said the other day, they criticized me. I said, look, Obama's gone, smart guy. He put things on. 17 is going to be the worst year because he's gone. He knew that was the year. I mean, let him be out before it implodes. Obamacare is imploding. It's a disaster. And the Democrats know that. If we had the greatest health care bill ever in history, and we needed 8 votes from the Democrats to get us up to the 60 number that you would need, they wouldn't vote for it. So it's a very selfish thing. They're doing a very, very bad disservice to the country.
All right, Obamacare narrowly clearing a key hurdle this morning as the House Budget Committee approved the package over the objections of the 3 GOP members. So 19-17 vote sends the American Health Care Act to the House Rules Committee, with GOP leaders hoping to take up the bill in the full House. And that's as early as next week. There are 22 Republicans, 14 Democrats on the Budget Committee. 3 Republican defections came from Representative Dave Brad of Virginia, and then Mark Stanford of South Carolina, Ray Palmer of Alabama. All Democrats on the committee voted against it. Not a surprise. Not a surprise. It's imploding all around it, and they don't even want to fix it. But that's just like the Democrats at this point. It's a shame. So the vote was considered the toughest of the 3 committee votes held so far on the controversial package, and then one more defection for Republicans would have resulted in a tie, stopping GOP leaders' current strategy for passing the bill in its tracks. So reiterating again, 19-17 vote.